Coding for Entrepreneurs would not exist if it weren't for open source. What open source is it's very similar to language, right? So like the English language is open source. Like nobody owns the English language and nobody can sell the English language. Luckily for us, a lot of programming languages are the same way. They didn't always used to be like that. In many cases, programming languages used to require a license. Like you had to pay thousands of dollars a month, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to actually use that language. So we're using Python. This is a programming language that allows us to do all sorts of really cool things. You might already know this, but every piece of code for Python is out there. Like we can actually look at the core fundamental code and actually make changes and make our own version of Python. You can even do that. That's one of those really cool things about open source. The same is true for Django. We're going to be covering Django a lot, and you can too, is go in and make changes to Django as you see fit. Now, of course, the developers, the ones that control Django, might not allow you to actually put those changes into what everyone else uses, but that might not matter. You might just want it on your own system in your own weird, funky way that nobody ends up using except for yourself, which is actually pretty cool. So we contribute as much as we can to open source in two ways. Number one, we teach open source languages. Like we do our best to teach these things so you guys can learn about the open source software and do it for free. So it makes everything less expensive while also making everything better. The other side is we actually contribute and open source our projects. So you can go to GitHub where our projects live. So github.com/coding for entrepreneurs or simply joincfe.com/GitHub. You can actually go here and see the code for all of the various projects that we have. And you can use this code in your own projects for free. Now, there are some things that you can and can't do with them, and because each open source project has its own license, right? So if you click on any of them, there's likely you'll see something like this, a license, and you can see generally how you might use it. And of course, GitHub, it gives us some extra context on how these licenses work in some cases. But generally, this code is open. At the very least, you can learn from it, even if you don't use it, right? So even if you don't use this code directly, you can still learn from it. The other part of it is it's a really good reference as we're building our projects or learning through this course or any other course. So in the next video, we're actually going to show you how to use our repositories in relation to this course without getting into the nitty-gritty of Git. Stay with us.